Say, you know what I was thinking? With all this jumping and climbing and jumping, wouldn't this make a great video game? Isn't that what all those video games are about? Jumping around?
Well, yeah, and killing. There's jumping too, but mostly killing.
What? Patrick, that's awful. What sort of example are we setting for our youth?
Well, movies are pretty violent too. Your heroes have killed everything in sight. You had Dick shooting a dinosaur in the face in the first 5 minutes.
Well, Patrick, that's different, you know? What we did on film, that was art. Video games aren't art.
The Deadly Tower of Monsters is a top-down shooter game published by Atlas USA and developed by Ace Team. You play Dick Starspeed, a spaceman who crash lands on planet Gravoria after it was shot down by the planet's evil emperor. With the help of his robot companion and Scarlet Nova, the Emperor's defiant daughter, the objective is to get to the top of the Deadly Tower and face off against the Emperor. In terms of gameplay, it's very basic. Use the WASD keys to move, and the mouse controls the reticule which points the character in the direction you want to attack. Left-clicking is melee attack, and right-clicking is ranged attack. It's honestly one of the most uncomplicated games I've ever played. The different characters may have different special abilities, but there's nothing in the way of special moves or combos, and while there is variety in the weapons, they all pretty much do the same thing. Some have stunning abilities or variations in attack speed, but in the end, you'll probably just stick to 2 of the same weapons throughout the game and not having to change them. I also have issues with the game's fixed perspective. The camera stays at a fixed angle and revolves around the tower as you climb. As far as I know, there's no way to control the camera itself. It's not too big a problem when you're traversing on the ground or fighting enemies, but as soon as you get higher, the game starts introducing some platforming challenges, and the fixed camera really messed with my depth perception, causing me to misjudge my jumps and falling. Thankfully, the game does have an air teleport mechanic which allows you to respawn back onto the ledge on which you started, but the fixed camera is unhelpful when faced with the more challenging jumps. Granted, there aren't that many in the game, but the option to control the camera would make it so much easier. So, what makes this game worthwhile to play? Well, that would be its theming. The game is themed after a Silver Age sci-fi B-movie. I mean, look at it. The character design, the settings, the enemies, right down to the addition of film grain, everything from this game looks like it came off the set of Lost in Space, or Robot Monster, or an early episode of Star Trek. Even the menu art is a direct reference to the poster of the 1958 film Forbidden Planet. And the music sounds like a modernized version of what you'd hear in a Silver Age sci-fi film, which is awesome. But the first thing you'll notice is the audio commentary that starts right as you boot up the game. The game is presented as a film that's being re-released on DVD, with the director, Dan Smith, providing audio commentary while you play, mostly reminiscing on the making of the film. His character is a massive sleazeball, and his commentary reveals just how cheap and rushed this film was made. But his commentary is what holds this game together. He even does commentary over the options menus.
I can never figure out all these DVD options. I tell you, watching movies has become complicated. The pause button, I know that one.
Had Dan's commentary not been there, I probably would not have played this game till the end. Honestly, there were so many funny lines and quips he made that I had a hard time picking out the ones I want to show for this review. So, here are just a few of my favorites.
This is what people pay to see. A no-name middle-aged B-list actor duking it out with stuntmen in costumes. Such stunning choreography. Now the extras in those robot suits really knew how to take a punch. Oh, literally. I told Jonathan not to hold back. Give it all to him. Kick him in the nuts and bolts. And I know what you're thinking, but don't worry. We handled it responsibly. we made them all sign waivers not to sue for injury. A lot of people complained that the fight scenes went on a little too long in my movie, that there wasn't enough story and exposition. Excuse me, what kind of movie did you decide to go see? An action movie, you say? Last time I checked, dialogue wasn't a movie genre. We were running out of extras and clay sculptures, but we needed more monsters. Oh, please, more monsters. So we had this brilliant idea. If you stick a puppy inside an old vacuum cleaner, wham, instant monster. Throw in a string of Christmas lights and it's camera ready in 5 minutes. And that had to be some kind of world record or something. We tried a lot of names before we settled on Dick Starspeed. Let's see, we had Lance Laser, Gary Galaxy, Samuel Satellite, Nacho Nova. That was my favorite. Yeah, we did a whole lot of those same first letter thing for a while there. The execs wanted us to go with Dick, though. For a while, we were gonna go with Dick Missile, I think. The studio didn't care much, as long as we steered clear of Uranus and black holes. Dick Missile penetrating deep into a black hole, then going to Uranus. That would have been a knee slapper.
Personally, I would have gone with Max Moon, but his commentary only lasts until about 3/4 into the game, as when you get to part 4, he leaves the recording studio out of confusion, not remembering that he filmed a 4th part to the film. And who we're left with is Patrick, the sound studio worker, who doesn't have much to say outside of, "Wow, this really looks cheap," a serious downgrade from Dan Smith. But the nicest thing I can say about him is that the voice actor did a good job of playing a guy who sounds disinterested.
Are those plants made from those inflatable air dancer things you see outside stores? Oh, they must have borrowed them from Emperor Greg's used car lot. No doubt about it. If the director was good at anything, it was figuring out how to do things as cheap and cheesy as can be.
Now, I'm gonna put up a spoiler warning here for those who want to check out the game for themselves. For those who don't want the ending spoiled, skip ahead to the 8-minute 50-second mark. Once you reach the top of the tower, you face off against the Emperor, first on the ground and then on his ship. But the way to defeat him is by breaking the 4th wall, which involves jumping off the set and then attacking Dan himself, demanding him to rewrite the script. I mean, I did get a laugh out of this, but it feels like meta humor was the wrong direction. Considering that the game/film has taken itself seriously despite the production hiccups, I would have preferred an ending that remained in context, such as the Emperor's ship getting destroyed, revealing just how cheap and flimsily it was built. The reason why we remember and love these infamous so bad it's good films is not because they're self-aware, looking at you, Sharknado, but rather it's because they take themselves seriously. They think they're writing a Shakespearean masterpiece when in fact they're writing a poorly made middle school theater production. But that's a discussion for another time. The Deadly Tower of Monsters is a fun romp that will keep you entertained for about 5 hours of playtime. It's a simple game that's not going to trick you into believing it's anything sophisticated or groundbreaking, but if you're like me and you love cheesy sci-fi B-movies, then this game is right up your alley. It's a loving tribute to a laughable but charming era of cinema for all its quirks and merits. Check it out.
You can kiss your cowardly shield goodbye, Doctor.
Tut tut! Did you really think I wouldn't have another deadly trap prepared?
You're Fred eliminated it.
That's all, folks. The greedy Emperor gets what's coming to him. The scientist learns he shouldn't play God. Spectacular monsters, large-scale pyrotechnics. This is what sci-fi is all about.